Let's talk with Camilla. And for those that are watching, and for those that may have not heard of who Camilla is, folks, Camilla in this era we're in today is probably one of the, I think, one of the most important professionals that we all really should get to know. Camilla is a psychotherapist, expert in crisis management and pandemics. She brings real world experience. She's probably busier today than ever because in the pandemic we're in, it really and truly is about staying grounded, staying safe, and we're all going to get through this and we're going to come out a whole lot stronger than I think many of us realize. Whatever profession we're in, folks, whatever we're doing today, we are all human and we can all have our moments of, we call it snapping. And when you take a look at the media, when you take a look at what's going on, folks, in all honesty, there's more good and people coming together and hope than what maybe we're seeing in that one linear lens of media. But we also have to keep in mind in that media lens, some of those things are happening and it is trending. The power that we truly have is within ourselves. Camilla brings the level of expertise, professionalism, and has a very unique way of helping people. We're going to say get there faster in terms of staying grounded. And when you have an opportunity to work with people that have done it, like they basically come with the experience doing it, we want to really make sure that we're staying connected. So I am really excited to have Camilla on. And for those that may not be aware, Camilla is actually with us 3 times a week. For those that may not know who I am Michelle Carty, and I run a real estate. I'm a realtor, and I have an amazing team. That team, we're all realtors in the industry, but we're all strong in a few different areas. So I think we're coming together with those strengths. The reason I bring in mental health, mental wellness, mindset, positivity, because truthfully, folks, in the arena of real estate, it's one of the most rewarding industries to be in because you are coming from a place of serving and helping people, whether they're investors and they know what their criteria is, or they need help in understanding what criteria they need to look for, or whether they are my apologies, folks, or whether they are families looking at just getting into the market. This is big decisions, and there's a lot of money at stake. There are emotions that go into this. Well, emotions comes from, yes, they're from our heart, but they start with our thoughts. So I feel very privileged to be in the industry, to be in the real estate industry, to work with amazing agents that we're here to kind of help each other. Why? Because we're helping all of these buyers and sellers, especially right now with COVID. We run virtually, but that's for another day for me to sort of get into. But having the privilege and opportunity to connect with people like Camilla and share their just little tips, little I call them little learning nuggets out to the community, people realize we can truly help. We have the ability to get through this, but it really is about staying grounded for all of our essential workers. And that includes my husband. I belong to what we call the High Five Club, and there are many members in there where they are essential workers. Think about them every day. For example, a very dear business colleague, friend of mine, mentor, his name is Gordon So. Gordon So's wife is in the industry. She's a sick kids every day. So you know what? My heart goes out to them because they are our heroes. And for all of those in the industry of mental wellness, positive mindset, whether you're coming from a spirituality standpoint, whether you're coming from psychotherapy. And interestingly, psychotherapy is working with the mind. We sort of don't get into the medication, but we really get into working with people on how they can, it all comes down with the thought and what we're doing. But for all of those, they're so well needed in this industry right now. And, for just becoming better human beings. So I'm really blessed to have Camilla with us. Without further ado, she should be joining us any moment. I actually am going to just do a quick little message just to make sure. Sometimes, folks, for me and technology, the last couple of weeks, I was having a few glitches. So I just want to make sure that we've got Camilla coming on board. And Camilla's topic, folks, and she's going to be joining us very shortly. I'm just letting her know right now. And I'm really, really happy. So Camilla is actually going to be talking about some interesting topics today. Camilla will be coming in and talking about what we're going to call the psychological effects of working from home, 3 mental health issues, and 7 strategies to help combat. So, the psychological effects, folks, from working from home, you can imagine how many of us right now today are working from home. We really did increase the scale in the last few weeks. And there is a psychological component to this. So I'm excited to have Camilla come on and share some of this. And just, keep joining us, folks. Share with your friends, share with your family. We are going to be here 3 times a week, and we will be here at 12:15 Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And we have the opportunity to continue to learn from Camilla. And where we are right now, we know that we're going to be working from home for some time. So it's just, I'm all about getting the right information to the right people. And it really, really is a pleasure and blessing. So with that being said, I'm going to give Camilla maybe a couple more minutes, and she is, okay, just one moment, and we're just going to bring her in. And if you bear with me for one moment, folks, I want to be able to, I may have to, this is where I've been having a couple of extra steps where I need a little bit of a refresher on some of the new things that may have happened with Facebook. But bear with me, folks. And if we have to jump back on, we're going to jump back on. So I am just going out to see if I can invite her. I'm going to try, so I'm applying my technical skills, and hopefully, okay, I've just sent her a quick invite. So another way of getting in, for some reason, I'm having this wonderful issue of when I run Zoom, people are coming in and they are waiting to say that they're waiting in the waiting room, and I cannot find the waiting room. I go to my participants inbox where I should see them come in, and they're not there, or I can't admit them. So I've gone in to update, make sure that I don't have any rules put into Zoom that I have to admit them. But for some reason, this just happened again. So I'm going to let Camilla know to check her email and just to click on the link that I just sent. Click on the link I just sent. And for those that may not know, I did grow up in technology, but you get busy doing so many things, and there's so much to remember and learn. I don't know, maybe I'm showing my age here, but remember the old BlackBerry days? Well, one of the reasons why I miss my BlackBerry is not because of BlackBerry were the best in security. I'll be very transparent and honest, but I miss the ergonomics of the keyboard. I don't know if people realize when BlackBerry was established, the actual little keyboard that they had a patent on it, and it was ergonomically developed for how quickly and kind of, just our pace and how we type. To this day, I still get more typos when I use the smartphone. So I miss my BlackBerry. But as I said, I'm excited to have Camilla on board. Hopefully we've just corrected this. And if not, folks, we're going to jump off and jump back on. So I'm just doing a quick check to see. Hopefully she's, and there we go. Oh, wonderful. So we have Camilla joining us, folks. So as I've mentioned, Camilla, we're so thrilled to have her. And we figured this out. Well, we'll give it a couple of seconds to connect and okay, I think we just got, I'm just going to unmute her. Okay, we just have mute on, Camilla. Just check your mute button. And it might be, we're almost there.
Hang on a sec.
There, no, Camilla, I can hear you, hon.
You can?
I can hear you.
Okay. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I've figured out a few new things on Facebook, so I'm excited because it's always good when you know all of the right steps to apply. So we're live right now, and I know we're streaming live. We're going to get to the point where we can start to interact, and we're going to get to the point where we're going to go live on a few platforms. But that's my learning in the background. So it's a pleasure to have you, Camilla. You know, we've got a few more people that are onboarding with the Facebook community. Just, you know, how blessed we are to have people like yourself in our life so that we're able to continue to keep grounded. And I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I'm just sending a text to my kids to stay off of the video.
Okay.
So that I'm not going to get interrupted here. Sorry, I should have done this before.
No problem.
Okay, we're good.
Wonderful.
All right.
Okay. So it's Friday and
it's Friday.
Let's talk with Camilla. So we've got a couple of interesting topics. I just introduced the topics to our community that we're going to talk about, Camilla. So thank you so much for sending to me kind of in advance. But you know, the topics of psychological effects and working from home.
Yeah, you know what? We're all working from home. We've got students, we've got moms and dads, and you know, workers. And I thought maybe a little bit too late, but late is better than never to sort of address what we are all experiencing by working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, I know people have challenges as it is. But moving your work environment completely to home has its own set of challenges. So I thought, you know, we could address some of those today. You know, some people, I got to tell you, the reason I wanted to address this topic is because I don't think that when the economy opens up, that we're going to be not working from home. There are many people that are already working from home in the sense that they bring work home, right? Like they work at their day job and then they have extra work, and so they end up bringing it home. But there are also those during this time, while we have millions of people that have been laid off, there have been people that have found new jobs working from home. So they have new employment, you know. Also, there are many companies that are restructuring, you know, downsizing. They're realizing that they could work more efficiently, possibly from having people work from home. So I think that when the economy opens up, we're going to be seeing people continuing to work from home, right?
Yeah.
And also many experts are saying that we maybe will find ourselves in this type of situation yet again, you know, come the fall. That's the rumor, right? So. Yeah. Maybe this working from home is going to be with us for a while. So I thought it would be a good topic to address because there are some mental health issues that we do need to look out for.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And I'm with where we are right now, and by having the opportunity, Camilla, to learn this from you now versus, let's say, 3 months from now, things that what I'm, you know, I'm excited to hear. I'm very excited to hear because I am one of those women. We work from home quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know, I do as well.
Yes.
So the first issue is the most obvious, which is loneliness and isolation, right? What we're experiencing right now, it's lonely working from home. You're by yourself. You don't have the, the benefits of coworkers. You don't have the benefits of, venting with them over the water cooler.
Yeah.
That chit chat camaraderie that happens in the workplace. You don't have that at home. And so you can potentially feel disconnected, not just from your work, but from the rest of the world, right? And
Yes.
so when you are lonely and you're disconnected, the rates of depression and anxiety increase. And then there's also something else that shows up, which are somatic symptoms like random pain. There's random pain that shows up. And I know at some point I had random pain in my leg and I went to the doctor and what the heck's going on with my leg? And he's like, I don't know. So we did the test. He's like, there's nothing wrong with you.
Oh my goodness.
Random pain shows up.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's something to look out for. The other obvious one is anxiety, stress, pressures. Because look, working from home takes on many different kinds of forms, right? Like we feel, I don't know about you, but I feel this sometimes. It's like this pressure to work 24/7, that we can, fit in work whenever we can. And
Yeah.
if we don't learn how to manage that, we're going to burn out.
Agreed. Camilla.
We call that the always on mindset.
Always on mindset. Okay.
Yeah, it's
I've
like we're
heard of
always
that term before.
always on, you never turn off. Especially those people that maybe have set up a home office, let's say in their bedrooms, where they sleep. And so what happens is you unplug, you go to bed, and then you wake up and you're back at work. So there's never a portion of your day where you're completely disconnecting because your brain is constantly thinking about work, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Then there's, time management. I know when I first started working a lot from home, it was, I'm just going to throw in a load of laundry or I'm going to get dinner started. So I had to learn how to manage the boundaries with home and work. Other people have gone through this. They've set up their home offices, their employers have set them up. And now you've got to manage your time. Maybe you've got to do invoicing, maybe obviously IT, you're now your own IT professional, right? Because you've got to make sure the internet, the printer, the computer, everything's working fine. So these are the extras that maybe you didn't have to deal with at work. And so we find ourselves wearing multiple hats, and this can be stressful.
Yeah. And, I want to just comment on that because I think that there's, and it may very well exist, but when you're working from home, maybe there's an assumption. There are different tools, different technologies that you may have to use, but then there's all of these steps kind of in those, and it is a learning curve for some people, or there's different options of tools that they could be using. But there's the one aspect of, okay, I'm ready to do this, but do I have everything set up? And where do I go for support if this doesn't work and this doesn't work? And I do find, Camilla, that that alone, with everything else going on, that could be just a little trigger because there's kind of an assumption that everybody just understands this. And there's so many different options that we could use, but we all don't, and are we sharing that information? So what I have been going on to YouTube because I reached out to a few people and, we're all busy. And I thought, what, I'm going on YouTube and I'm going to uncover step by step on these tools. So, but these tools are what we need to work from home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This morning I was participating in a webinar. A bunch of people came together because they wanted to, stream some information. And then what they realized when people were commenting, it's like, I can't see you, the screen is freezing, I can't unmute me. All of these, they were professionals. They were looking at each other going, we don't know what to do. You know why? Because they didn't have an IT person on their team.
Correct.
So it's not so easy.
Well, no,
not so easy.
You know what? And Camilla, thank you so much for all of the the little mini lessons and being it, because I did not get frustrated today. That was the first step of me not falling into the moment. And I took my time and I was able to connect what I needed to connect. Now I know I know where I want to be and the ability to kind of stream in different platforms, but I did not get frustrated. And I think that, we, depending on who we are, it's just, I was happy I didn't get, and I'm happy that we had a good outcome is what I'm going to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome, for
So,
sure.
yeah, but
For
I'll be
sure.
honest. My daughter, my middle daughter, is in university. She's in a co-op program right now, so she's doing an sociology and environmental studies and a double major. But she's doing co-op, and what is she doing? She's being that IT person for them to be able to facilitate webinars and check it. So I think that role in itself is going to be in demand.
Yeah, so stress and anxiety. I know you and I have both been stressed out over that, but we're not letting it get to us, so that's a good
No,
thing.
no, no. Patience is a virtue, and we know, and working on it every day about how applying the tips that you're sharing, um, and being very well aware that being aware of everybody around us, because not all people can just apply, and people need support. People need to know where they can go to for that
For
support.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. The other, outside of stress and anxiety, another thing that tends to creep in is depression. I know we've talked about this again as well, but how does it relate to working from home? Well, we don't have the opportunity to stand out with colleagues. Sometimes you hear about people that have their corner desk, or you've got your name or plaque on the wall, or a certain nameplate on your desk, right? But when you're working from home, you don't have those things. And so you feel, you can feel down, a little sad, but there are other symptoms or signs that are not just about feeling down, and maybe people don't know this. So if you find yourself, let's say, being a little irritable or frustrated or having angry outbursts, that could be a sign of depression. Maybe you have loss of interest in activities that you used to enjoy doing, or loss of interest in sex. That's a common one.
Yeah.
Sleeping disturbances. Maybe you're either you're sleeping too much or not sleeping at all. Maybe you have insomnia, you know, or tired. You have lack of energy. You find yourself, you struggle to get through the day. Another one that we are seeing now, everyone's talking about, gaining weight. We have certain food cravings from, signs of, as a sign of depression. We're restless. We have trouble remembering things, concentrating, making decisions. Those are all, having signs of increased cortisol in your body, and you have anxiety. Again, having unexplained physical problems like back pain or headaches. I know a lot of teachers I've been speaking to in the last couple of weeks, and a lot of them now are starting to suffer from migraines and headaches because they're in front of the computer most of the time, and they're not used to that.
Yeah. So
You know?
adjustment.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Also, lack of being around other people. So there's not a lot of socializing going on, and these are all the things that are that we are experiencing from being, in isolation, or being forced to be in isolation recently.
Okay. So that being
But the
said,
good news is you
that's
don't
what I
have
was
to
hoping
stop.
for.
What's that?
I was when you had just said the good news, I was thanking you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I love working from home. I love it. And so what I wanted to say is, you don't have to suffer from, mental illness, if you choose to work from home. And I'm going to assert that if you do it right, you're never going to want to go back to traditional work. You just
I'm
won't.
I'm, I'm on your side. I am absolutely on your side. But Camilla, you highlighted some really good points. There is some discipline and structure that you have to put into play. And even I even found myself, Camilla, I've worked from home for a number of years, but not so much home because what I do, it requires me to go out and then in. So it's because it's in the realm of real estate. However, I have found in the last 8 weeks, I was maybe working a wee too long. And my husband's like, I don't mind, but we are out here. And he was correct. And I realized, all right, his hours adjusted. So I felt, you know what, I've got to make some adjustments. So longer days over the week, the days that he works. And then like I am carving out where there's a couple days. No, I have to have that time. But
Yes.
I got into it.
Yes, totally agree. I've had to do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, the same thing. So, so speaking of that, it's about sticking to a routine. You got to create a schedule. Um, a lot of people have talked about how really great it is to have flexibility. Some students that I've been speaking to this week have said it feels so great not have to run to catch the bus. Other people have said it's great not to have to sit in traffic. It's great to not have to get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m.
yes.
To go to work, right? So there are some benefits, but how do we deal with the flexibility? Because sometimes, I know you've heard this said, like, the good news is you're your own boss. The bad news is you're your own boss, right?
Yes. Yes. That's
So
very true.
yeah, so how do you schedule? And it's important that goal. Look, before I go to bed every day, I look at what I'm doing the next day. I
Yeah.
look at what time I start. I look at what my tasks are, and I schedule, what time I need to get up and what time I'm, doing the meditation, the walk. Like, I schedule all of that into my calendar.
So your
In
calendar
order
is
to-
really important, is what I'm hearing you say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yep, scheduling.
Okay. You must write it down.
If you don't, here's what happens. Because I know I've gone through this. If you don't schedule your day, here's what goes on. You get up and then I don't know, I used to have a coffee and then I would check out social media. And before I knew it, an hour went by.
Mm, yeah.
Time
Yes.
just goes. You're not being productive. You're not creating anything. And
Yeah.
before you know it, it's like 3 o'clock and it's like, oh, it's time to pick up the kids from school. I didn't get anything accomplished today.
Interesting.
So it's important that you create your schedule. Um, it's also, here's another thing that I found, and it's sort of like a psychological thing. If I say I blocked off 11 to 2 to work, and then I was getting tired, I would get up and I would stretch, I would go outside, and inevitably I had this thought creep into my head that was, I should get back to work. I'm wasting time.
Oh,
And so here's what I realized with working with some powerful coaches. You need to block off time to exercise or to walk or, whatever that break is. Because if it's in your calendar, let's say from 2 until 2:30, I'm doing my break.
yes.
I don't feel guilty because I've given myself permission to have that break. So I know that at 2:30, I'm good to go back to work. I don't have to be thinking about feeling guilty because it's 2:15 and I'm not back at work. Does that make sense?
Makes really good sense. What I'm kind of hearing, Camilla, is your calendar becomes your boss. You have
Yes.
to be held accountable to that. That's kind of what I'm hearing. So the importance of planning it out, but I think more because lots and lots of people can put it in a calendar. Camilla, I think well, you know what would be your number one recommendation on for those that have never done this before? How do they stick to that calendar? Because that's a habit in itself. How
That's
do
a really great question.
they-
It's a really great question. I think it just requires some getting used to. And it's a mindset where, for me, the block was I did not want to be dominated by my calendar. I wanted to just be
Oh,
free. So the moment I gave it up is when things started to work.
interesting. So, I guess maybe as you're saying, you're planning it, you're being, it's, you're planning it out. You intend to have certain things, but you're time blocking is what I'm really hearing. You're
Mhm.
time blocking to give yourself that time for whether it's work and then whether it's personal. But
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, and while you're blocking off time, it's really important to schedule time in there to get up and move, because most of the times when you're working from home, you with a computer or a laptop, you need to get up and move. You need, experts do tell us that we need 20 to 30 minutes a day of cardio. We need to get our heart pumping, whether you are, going for a bike ride or a walk, or, dancing. That's now my new thing, is my new break is put on YouTube and, move.
Oh, good, good. Well, Camilla, I'm not a fan of working out to no music. But you put that music on and I am moving and shaking until we're done. So
I know, right? And it distracts you from work, and
yeah,
it has the endorphins going, your serotonin levels are increasing. You feel
absolutely.
good.
Yeah, I've thought, even we have a home gym in the basement, and many years ago I was in the industry, and I just forced ourselves over the years to do it at home, and even having it at home, I still have to do it. So it's not an easy, but we just work on it all the time. But I've asked my husband, I want to put a monitor downstairs and mount it so that I can connect with people. And I would be willing. I'll lead, but I know that would be me. Okay, I've got to put it in my calendar a little earlier in the morning, and I take part. It's been a little while, but your health is your wealth. There's a lady out of Arizona, and a gentleman, Lester Bailey. They're incredible. They're almost now a year. Every morning they get up. They're both holding each other accountable. The people that follow them are incredible, and they have a program called "Get Off Your Asset." Your health is your wealth. Yeah.
Right.
No, you never know. Maybe we'll do something, but I am with you. I love music and it makes you move.
Yeah. And actually, that brings me to another tip, which is leave your house. You need to leave your house to get out with nature. We call that ecotherapy. We need to get out with nature. There are many studies that show that being outdoors lowers your blood pressure and decreases your stress hormones. So Lester Bailey and the gang, they've got it. They're right on.
They are. It's a movement of any kind, and but having that opportunity to just, as they say, get out and smell the roses, staying active. Nothing stops you from getting out and walking.
Right. And you can combine, like kill two birds with one stone, right? You can actually do cardio outside, right? You can organize a group hike, let's say. So now you're incorporating the social aspect with being outside and working out, or being physically active rather, right? So you don't have to be doing all these separately. You can put them together.
And you know what, Camille, that brings me to another thought, because we understand that what we're all doing is making a difference, which is the physical distancing. We understand that. But we also understand that, the ability or opportunity to connect with, 4 or 5 people, you can be physically distant, but you're seeing each other and you can go for that group walk.
Right. Yeah, we've got to get creative, right?
Exactly. So, or
Yeah.
you can, we, if you have a good data plan, you can bring your, bring your Zoom phone, and everybody can be online while you're walking too. So the same as, yeah. But
Yeah,
it's, nothing's stopping us. It's just finding different ways to keep going and keep motivated and stay grounded.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I saw a picture of one of my cousin's home offices, or what she had set up as a home office, and I was mortified. I'm like, oh my goodness. She had her laptop on a dresser in a spare bedroom, and sort of like a makeshift home office. So here's what I'm going to say. You need to invest in upgrading your home office. So what does that mean? It means that you invest in getting a good desk. It needs to be wide so that you could spread out with your arms, and you're not getting the carpal tunnel going on. It's a good idea to invest in an ergonomic chair, right? Not just, your grandmother's recliner.
Yeah. Your bottom will get a little sore after a while. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you can actually have a separate room with a door that you can block off to say, the difference between work and the rest of your life, that's bonus points, right? Not all of us have that luxury in our home. So maybe it's a corner of the, let's say, living room, or maybe you're using your dining room or a spare bedroom. But it's important to invest in a good ergonomic chair. And, when you're sitting, if you're at a table, maybe you get those adjustable chairs. Let's say you're using your dining room table.
Yeah.
Get a chair that adjusts so you're ergonomically correct. So you're not dealing with, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, all those kinds of things that are not good for you if you do it over a long period of time.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And then the other thing I would say is, I don't know about you, but a good sound system. Some people don't like working in silence, and so if you're relying on, let's say, the speakers on your laptop that are not so great, not a very good enjoyable experience.
Very true. Very true. And I know that I've been recommended by just different tracks that you can listen to that are very subtle, but that just kind of keep the momentum going forward. But as you say, yeah, just having that ability to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Camilla, it is always a pleasure to have you. And I am, everybody, I just want to, for everybody that's watching and everybody that's listening, folks, you had an opportunity earlier to hear our kind of voice. Camilla is she is a true professional. She's a woman who's been in this industry for over 21 plus years. Camilla is a psychotherapist, but she specializes in crisis and pandemics in terms of how we keep grounded. She works with all different people. Right now, I think she's been kept very busy with working with a lot of the frontline workers, essential services. But for those that want to know more about who Camilla is, very soon, let's talk with Camilla. You will be able to find her online, and Camilla will continue to join us. And we're socially connected, and I absolutely have to stay socially connected. And it's really important that we continue to share and keep everybody in a positive frame of mind. Lots of negative stuff can come at us, but folks, there's more good than there is bad in this world.
Yep. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Have an amazing weekend. And Camilla, we'll see you on Monday.
Okay.
All
Happy
right.
weekend.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.